I'm making a delicious chilled summer soup. It's going to have corn and tomatoes and roasted serrano peppers in it. This soup has minimal cooking. You could even grill your corn, and that would keep you out of your kitchen. I'm topping this off with a roasted serrano crema, and we're going to top it off with a crumbled queso cheese. This soup is so refreshing on a hot summer day. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe to my channel yet, please do. I would really love it. You'll need 4 ears of fresh corn, so remove the husks, and now I'm going to add them to boiling water, and I'm going to cook them for about 5 minutes. I'm using some colored grape tomatoes today, but if you have fresh tomatoes in your garden or at the farmer's market, definitely do that. I have about 2.5 cups here, so I'm cutting them in half, or you could use a whole tomato and cut it in chunks. I'm going to use a sweet Vidalia onion for this recipe. The onion is not going to be cooked, so you have to make sure it's really sweet. There are other sweet onions that aren't labeled Vidalia that you could certainly use. This is what a Vidalia onion looks like, and one important thing is to cut off that root because you don't want to get any bacteria in your soup. Only use half the onion and cut this into chunks. Now I'm going to roast my pepper. You can do this on a gas stove, you can do it on a grill, or you can even pan roast it or put this in the oven. Now that it's all blackened, I'm putting it in a paper bag, and that's going to steam it. Here's my serrano pepper. Do the same exact thing. Take out your yellow pepper, and now it's going to be so much easier to take the skin off. I have my serrano pepper in the bag, and I've also done a jalapeno. This is how you get the skin off of your blackened pepper. Just use your fingers, or you could use a knife, and get most of it off, but you can leave some on. The corn has cooled off, so just grab a large knife and slice off those kernels. Once they're off, you can break them apart easily. I've taken the serrano pepper out of the bag, it's cooled down, and once again peel off a lot of that skin, and you can even use a knife to scrape some of it off, and do the same with the jalapeno. You'll want to zest 1 lime, and then you're going to want to juice this. I love taking a fork to loosen up the pulp, and then you'll get more juice out of whatever citrus you're using. I'm adding the corn to a food processor now, and also the tomatoes. We're going to puree these. You can also do this in a blender, and it works great. I have 2.5 cups of cold water, but I'm only going to add half of it. Now half of my soup is ready, and I'm going to finish it off by adding the onions to the food processor and really mincing them down. Now add that yellow pepper, and you want to get this also into almost a puree. Now finish adding the rest of your cold water. This will seem kind of soupy, but once we finish it, it will not be. I'm adding a 1/2 cup of extra virgin olive oil, and I'm going to slowly drizzle this in. This will emulsify it. Here's a grated garlic clove. You want it really fine like this. We're going to add this to the soup, along with that lime zest. So we have everything in the bowl now, and our soup is pretty much done. Just give it a really good stir, and you do want to taste it because it might need some salt. I have my roasted jalapeno pepper here, and I'm chopping this up into chunks. And I'm also going to do the same with the serrano pepper. Make sure you get all the seeds out of it. We're going to put these in the blender along with a big handful of cilantro, and yes, even the stems. And we're going to puree them. This is going to be for our crema, which is so delicious. Make sure that you mince this really fine. Once this is done, let's add 1 cup of the Mexican crema. This could be sour cream if you can't find the Mexican crema. And I'm also going to add 1/4 cup of heavy cream to the mixture. 1 teaspoon of kosher or sea salt will really brighten this whole thing up. So just puree it, and now it is ready. Chill your soup for about 1 or 2 hours and get it nice and cold. And it's time to serve. I'm going to drizzle that beautiful crema on top. And then you can garnish this too with some extra corn that you put aside. And you can crumble some queso fresca, a Mexican cheese, or feta cheese too. And here it is, garnished also with cilantro. And thanks for watching. If you'd like to help support my channel, You can do that by making a small donation and buying me a coffee at ko-fi.com. You'll see the link in the description box below.